All right, it's your Pratt Pack back, our final hour of election 2025. But of course, don't forget, bright and early, the Big K Morning Show, everything you need, postmortem and more throughout the day. But right now, Lenny McAllister is here with me, and we are streaming this show as we do all of our shows 7 days a week in the Metropolitan Window video screen. You can watch it and listen at the same time by going to kdkradio.com and clicking on KDKA Watch. So what would Mr. Gainey do if, in essence, he loses the opportunity to return as mayor? I mean, Corey's got a job.
Well, my first theory, and we just mentioned this off the air, would be do what a lot of other former politicians do, become a lobbyist and go lobby government someplace. In his case, it would probably be state government. He's a former state House rep, had been there for years, had served on several important committees, including education.
Right.
Be on the Democratic side of the House, go lobby state government, go make a decent dollar, see if you can plan another political return. That would be one option. Another option would be, I mean, he's going to always be the first black mayor of Pittsburgh. There might be an opportunity to write a book or do a speaking tour about those experiences and then fall into probably partisan politics someplace and be a resource there. I mean, again, he is not a 78-year-old politician. He is a politician in his mid-50s, which means that, one, you have an opportunity to reinvent yourself from a job standpoint. Number two, you have enough time to reinvent yourself as a politician. If he ever wanted to run for something with a little bit of rehabilitation to his image, learn from, lessons lost, and then make some decisions from there.
And it's still too early to say who has won this thing, but Corey O'Connor early on has a very good lead. My question to you as far as Corey's future is concerned, obviously he has a job he could go back to, but do you think this is the last stop for him on that political stairway if he gets elected as mayor?
It goes back to what we were talking about earlier, Rob. Do you reinvent yourself? Does Corey O'Connor become this chief executive of the city of Pittsburgh that people trust, they like, and they want to follow? If you get those three things, you have a high level of, probability of getting the fourth thing, which is be successful. If you get those four things, as a guy that's only 40, sure, there are other things he can do. He could be, a congressperson. He could stay and move up the state ladder if he chose to. Again, let's say he's mayor of Pittsburgh and Shapiro ends up not running for the White House, serves out his full second term, and it becomes 2030. Now you have some interesting names. You have Austin Davis, who's the lieutenant governor, who's from here. You have Fetterman, who's a senator. A lot of people come from the level of senator congressperson, such as Mike Pence, to then run for governor to find a path to try to run for a presidency. Maybe it's Fetterman, but it can also be a city mayor. If you remember, we had that with Rendell, mayor of Philadelphia, then became governor of Pennsylvania. That could be O'Connor's path. So there are options for him, but let's just be honest. People were saying the same exact thing about Ed Gainey 4 years ago, and the job, at least to now, many have said has been unsatisfactory. So that's all off the table. Now it's just survival. Corey would have to make sure he doesn't go down that same exact path, looking too far ahead, and then 4 years from now, he's fighting for his political life as mayor as well.
It's easy to say I can fix it when you're not the one having to fix it. That's a great opportunity to use. It's counterpunching when being a politic, just basically putting everything out in front of your opponent and saying you did this wrong, you did this wrong, you did this wrong. But looking at Mayor Gainey's time in office recently, obviously Chief Scarrato and Jake Wheatley, who I know and have a lot of respect for, those two things, could they have been the straws that broke the camel's back?
I think that people were willing to trust Ed Gainey because of the reputation of Jake Wheatley, and Jake Wheatley being in that administration. With him leaving under some of the issues that were swirled out there both officially and unofficially, that was a level of trust that moved out. The whole police chief situation is another item that people look at and say, this was mangled. They look at the snow removal. This was mangled.
And that stuff matters big time.
Yes, it's a city. So what people have pieced together with Gainey, from those that are not going to vote for Gainey tonight, is I see a pattern of things not being followed through and being done. We heard that the homelessness issue was being cleaned up. Is it really?
No.
Not from what we're seeing. We've had issues with the snow for a while. We've had issues with infrastructure for a while. We've had issues with this police chief for a while. We've had issues with the police and the contract for a while and the whole back and forth with that whole situation. People are saying, I wanted to give him a chance. I don't see the progress I want to see. That's where that voter is going to be when they're voting for O'Connor tonight. The flip side is what we heard from Greg earlier, which is he walked in. We still were dealing with COVID. We were still dealing with a lot of dissension. It's going to take some time to clean that up. And this is my guy. He's one of us, and I'm going to give him another shake.
Other than Corey O'Connor, does Mayor Gainey walk into a second term if it's not Corey O'Connor?
Yes, because I don't think, again, it's okay. Tony Moreno, 5 years ago, was a Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
He filed on both tickets. He won the Republican primary with write-in votes. Then he kind of ran as Democrat light. Now, if he came out as a true blue Republican, maybe that would make a difference, but we're still talking about Pittsburgh, and he would have to be really good at the retail politics to overcome an incumbent that's good at retail politics. That's a hard challenge. I don't see Moreno being able to do it. Maybe he could, because we haven't seen that happen yet, but that's what it would take if it ends up being the incumbent in Moreno after tonight.
Listen, speaking of retail, one of the things in a different light or connection to retail, Mayor Gainey said Kaufman's Gimbel's never coming back. See, when you say something like that, in my opinion, you're making us think that there is no hope. I would say they may not be here, but there are others who want to come here. You need to bring back some of the things like corporate America.
Now is the time to reimagine downtown Pittsburgh. Some of those entities may be filled by this generation's version of that.
Right.
But we don't know. But the bottom line is the invitation's out there. Pittsburgh is open for business because Pittsburghers want to spend money in Pittsburgh. They want to enjoy Pittsburgh. And one thing that we've always had is Pittsburgh pride. And we're going to now let that pride also push business, push safety, push more residents in downtown Pittsburgh. And this is how we're going to do it. But when you talk like that, and then you have a plan, you are a visionary leader. If you come out with they're never coming back, to your point, Rob, there's no vision, there's no hope. If there's no hope, I'm going to go sell my house and I'm going to go move to Butler County. I'm going to move to Westmoreland County. I'm going to move to Fayette County, which is great for the region in some regards. It's not good for Allegheny County, and it's not good for the anchor of Allegheny County, the city of Pittsburgh.
All right, a lot of first-time callers tonight. That's what I like to hear, and some of my favorites as well. They're all waiting, stacked up on top of each other. All of our lines are on hold. We'll get to them on the other side of the break. Decision 2025 with your Pratt Pack. Laney McAllister here, and now Alonzo Anderson has taken over as our producer. We're with you till 10 o'clock, and early on, Corey O'Connor has a pretty sizable lead. We'll continue to follow those numbers, and we'll have more for you on the other side of this break. Stay with us.